Thank you, Reverend Lisa, for the opportunity to speak. Thank Reverend Gerald for the inspiration. Thank Dr. Ronnie for the teaching. And thank all of you for your inspiration and your encouragement. Good morning and greetings. Well, I would like to think that we all showed up today. We woke up this morning with an expectation. I would like to believe that as we rose this morning, we spoke into the ether of the atmosphere of an expectation that we desire in our lives, and opportunities that will come forth that will bless us, bless our family, and the circumstance and conditions we find ourselves in. I would like to believe that this is how and what we do daily. And if not, I pray that this information that you receive today, that I share, that it helps to assist you to see miracles, to realize and recognize that miracles are happening every day, and that the very birth of us was a miracle. The traveling of the sperm through the uterus, 1 out of billions. That's a miracle. So I would like for us to see ourselves as a miracle. Break down the psychotic hangups that we have about ourselves in regards to what has transpired in our lives and what has kept me, what didn't allow me, and how he mistreated me, and how I didn't do this that day and I chose to do that. Let's remove, let's pause, let's hesitate from them thoughts, those ideas for a moment. So I say, let us start by clearing our mind of any thoughts that we've had prior to now. And I want you to affirm and let us realize going forward that we are connected to a power that is greater than ourselves. And if we activate it, we will see miracles. So at this time, I want you to affirm within yourself this affirmation. I release all thoughts prior to this moment, and I focus on my inner self to vanquish all thoughts of doubt, fear, insecurity, and lack. And I allow the power of love, peace, harmony to sweep through my mind and bring me a miracle. Yes, thank you, Lord. I received that. You see, how we see ourselves will determine what our life will reveal to us. If we see ourselves birthed from the creative force of life, i.e. God, and we act accordingly, then and only then will we produce the desired effects believed, such as miracles. See, God and man are one. If we see it any other way, then that is how we diminish our power. When we walk in accordance to the principle and attributes of God, the way it works, then we will see miracles. When we activate these 3 principles, which are trust. Trust is a firm belief in the reliability of truth, ability in someone or something. Faith. Faith is based on our knowledge of truth. And our belief is an inner acceptance of idea as true, that we receive from the power itself. If we believe, if we connect these three ingredients, we will have the desired effect. And that desired effect is a miracle, or what we call a miracle, because in spirit it is always birthing and changing conditions and circumstances. It's the way it operates, it's the function that it does. It doesn't operate any other way. It doesn't think that it cannot. It doesn't suppose that it should not. It says, I will. It does it automatically, regardless. And whatever we think into it is what we bring about. You see, when we activate these powers, we will break the blockage in our mind and our inability to create miracles. When we show that we trust, that we accept this power, and we activate our faith, which is the magnetic power that draws us without question. And then our belief will begin to work on our miracles. You see, here's a few hangups or race beliefs or false individual ideas or thoughts that we have, because of what we heard throughout our time or period in life. A person's color, person's hand size, shoe size, person's toe means this or that, and on and on and on about the differences and how this makes me this or makes me that. No, we have to eliminate those false ideas. See, these thoughts or those thoughts should be purged from our belief. We have to let them go. We have to repudiate them with affirmations of belief and wholeness and a connection to God that is residing within us. See, once we receive knowledge and understanding of the spiritual presence, we're supposed to affirm that power and presence until it shows up in our experiences. Our brother Jacob told us in the book, when he wrestled with an angel, I will not let thee go until you have blessed me. So if we find ourselves in an experience that is not of what we want, we're supposed to hold on to the idea, to the recognition that this power within us is removing us, is helping us go through, helping us pull out, helping us hold on, help us climb up, help us push up, prop up until we stand up. We got to stand on these principles of knowledge that we know every day in every circumstance, and no longer lie down to the hurt and the pain and the suffering, the condition that came to make us, to turn us around, to turn us back to the power that is building us, the power that has blessed us, the power that has birthed us, the power that says you can, the power says come on, the power say you got it, the power say come with me, the power that says follow me, the power that says you can make it. You see, all this stuff that we're learning and we're teaching is telling us there's miracles around us. There are things that are happening in our lives that are changing circumstances and conditions from eon to eon. Why? Because that is the way in which it works. It is going to build, it is going to change this life. It's going to recognize, even in the beginning of the book, it says, you have power and dominion over the earth, and we should subdue it. Fight against it until you see the vision, the responsibility that a person needs to have in regards to how they treat you, the way this life needs to stand up to the principles of laws, and how we should allow people to express themselves and assist in kindness with love and appreciation for what it is that they bring to the table. So Ernest Holmes says in the book, Science of Mind, man is made out and from life, and as an effect must partake of the nature of its cause. So man must partake of the divine nature from which he springs. In other words, we're supposed to accept this power, this principle that is working in us, and act like the way it acts in the nature of the way that it responds, which is speaking and bringing about the changes in life that we see. That cause will bring into an effect, which is a body, which is reality. That's the way that we're supposed to live. See, we must act as one in order to see miracles. I of myself can do nothing, but it is the Father within that does the work. See, a humbling of ourselves removes us of the responsibility. If we have a realization that the power that's backing us, the power that's prodding us, that's propping us up, that's gave us the idea, that's gave us the solution, then we let go of our responsibility to do anything except for to speak. Speak what it's giving us. Provide it an avenue, a way to build. That's how we allow the incarnation of spirit. Miracles happen every day. And in order to see miracles, we must know who we are and the power we possess. We must accept miracles to show up. We must expect for miracles to show up in order for miracles to come into fruition. If we don't believe, if we don't have no expectation of nothing to be, then how can it come? See, this life says, it tells us in the book, you come as you are. See, we may come with an indifference. We may come not knowing. We may come in ignorance. But after we get some information, after we learn something, after we know that we're supposed to pray, after we hear that we're supposed to say positive affirmations, after we learn that we're supposed to rebuke the challenges that we have, then we're able to move on these circumstances that are stymiting our growth and our potential. That's how we do it. That's how we move forward. That's how we stand up, and that's how we stand up. Once we accept that we are made in the image and likeness of God, our realizations will provide a glimpse of the divine nature as us. And we are only reenacting first cause through our life. This does not mean that we are God. It means that in our individual expression, our nature is identical to God's. See, in the Bible, it states, as the Father has life within himself, so hath he given the Son to have life within himself. So the connection that the Son has to the Father and his understanding of that connection is to the degree that which he can bring something into reality. It is that connection that his realization will birth the change in the circumstance that he's seeing. If there's any circumstance that is bothering a man or a woman, it's just a pronoun. Let's not get stuck on pronouns. It will cause a person to take over whatever it may be that they're going through. See, even when we get a headache, sometimes we just need to be still. Sometimes we need to stop the rush of life that is flying through our minds that is causing this stir up and just close our eyes and release it unto the Father. I allow you to move in and through me as the peace that I need. I request that this storm, this wave, this injustice, this persecution be removed from my mind. And I am deeply more allowing and inviting your presence to take over, to lead me, to guide me through this situation. Through a financial circumstance, it doesn't matter. Request being moved, being guided up and away from the pain. We have to, or another way to look at it is, a drop of water and from any body of water, that body of water may not, that we took, that drop is not the whole of the lake, the pool, or the ocean, but it does resemble those bodies of water in its chemical qualities and attributes, i.e., man being birthed into the universe from a spiritual idea. We have to be a part of that function that said, come forth and create and build, dominate, name, proclaim, and subdue. It is the request. It is a law that we should be honored to do, knowing that we have been called to do it. You know, there's an interesting myth that I want to share with you in regards to the creating of man. And this myth, it may help to serve as a point to point out the facts that I just stated. It is said that when the gods decided to make a man and make him a divine being, they held a long discussion as to where would be the best place to hide his divinity. Some of the gods suggested that it be hidden in the earth, but others argued that someday man would penetrate the earth and so discover himself. It was then suggested that it be hidden in the depths of the sea, but this idea was rejected, for man would go under the sea and there discover his true nature. Then it was next suggested that his real nature should be deposited somewhere in the air, but this was also rejected, for man would surely fly through the air and find himself. And so after a long discussion, it was finally agreed that the best place to hide man's divinity would be in the innermost nature of man himself, this being the last place he would look to find it. You see, unfortunately, our five senses causes us to look at the outside of our lives, to look at what's going on around us. But once we receive knowledge and principles of life and the expectation, and we say we love Jesus and we follow him, then we look within to build our character and change the circumstances for ourselves, our families, and our friends. You see, this discovery would not be made until man had had all the experiences necessary to complete a well-rounded life. So what it's saying is that those round and rounds and rounds that we go through with ourselves in our lives, and the way in which we choose to do this, or we think that this way is better, not asking spirit to do it, but using those ideas that we've had from our peers. You know, this stymies our growth. And this is how, and this is when we need to go within and allow spirit to guide us. And this is why the book says, the words is very nigh unto thee, and in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. So whatever it is that we can believe, whatever it is believe that we can conceive, whatever it is that we want to achieve, we have to believe that it's possible, and that it starts with us, and that if it came to us, we are supposed to do it, because the miracle that we're seeking needs an outlet to come forth into this experience. Now, the above statement was, it was a fable. And when we analyze it closely, we can see parallels of our lives. And this is how we understand, and this is how we look at life, and this is how we should take advantage of things we learn and be motivated to complete the task despite what it is we may think or feel about a circumstance, because sometimes when we allow our feelings to take over, we cloud or we cast a shadow of doubt over that we say that we want to have, or that we want to do, because we're stuck in our feelings in regards to the circumstance or situation. See, our words spoken from our mouth and with conviction, it only repeats the I am. And this is repeating the beginning and claiming our power in it. See, that is how we connect ourselves back to the I am. And this process will go on into eternity. It doesn't stop. It has to exist. It has to continue to boom, if you will. You know, I was looking at Nova a few days ago, and I was watching how the Milky Way was being built. And the scientist was explaining how these explosions was continually going on, just in the just boom, boom. And we're in this atmosphere. We don't hear it, we don't see it with the naked eye, but because they sent up a camera, they see it. And this explosion is what's going on. And I would like for us to identify ourselves as these things, these explosions that are going on within us, that are causing us. It is only causing us to grow. It is only causing us to expand. It is only causing us to see our wells differently. It is only causing us to bring forth something that needs to be brought forth into reality. We're being prodded. We're being moved. We're being guided to a greater experience from an awareness that we just received. You know, over 2,000 years ago, Moses was teaching the Israelites on how to live. And this is parallel to the fable I just wrote you. And you can find this in Deuteronomy 30, 11 through 16. And it says this: know what I am commanding you today is not too difficult for you or beyond your reach. It is not up in heaven so that you have to ask, who will ascend into heaven to get it and proclaim it to us so we may obey it? Nor is it beyond the sea so that you have to ask, who will cross the sea to get it and proclaim it to us so we may obey it? No, the word is very near you. It is in your mouth and in your heart, so you may obey it. It's guiding us. It's pushing us. It's coming from within us. And that's how we know. We have to accept that what I'm hearing from within me is only moving me forth and forward to a new experience. See, it goes on to say, see, I set before you today life and prosperity, death and destruction. But if you read the book, you go back to Genesis, it says that in awareness and awakening that we have, you will not surely die. But see, this is why we have to read, so that we can, it says that you will be awakened and you will know the difference. So in other words, now you know the difference in the choices that you made. See, it is only an understanding. And then we begin to apply that knowledge and that wisdom that we got. Then we build nations. Then we build civilizations. This is all the book is talking about, how to become a better, eliminate the destructive ideas and thoughts that comes forth from us sometimes, that disagreement that we have of our own selves. To become stand upright. And goes on to say, for I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, and to keep his commands, decrees, and laws. Then we will live in increase, and the Lord God, our God, will bless us in the land we are entering to possess. See, they had not yet gotten there. They had not yet arrived. Moses stopped right at this point in time to tell them that this is what is going to happen for us, because Moses is the law. And this is why we have to understand laws and principles, because once we understand laws and principles, then we can use them to our advantage to adapt and overcome. Okay, this is how this works. I want to share another example here that, which is the prodigal son, which is the Bible showing us of who we are. And I'm going to do a modern translation. And so the prodigal son, you know, um, he wanted something different in his life. He no longer wanted to live up under the rules and regulations that was in the house. And so he decided that he was going to take all his possessions that he owned and that he had, and he would go about into the city. And so when he goes out into the city, he runs into prostitution, fornication, drug addiction, right? All these things that are obstacles or hindrance of the stability that we may have had prior to walking into an environment that showed us, that depicted us that this was more fun, that this was more exciting and thrilling for us than the stability that we had. And so therefore we go out and we experience these things, and we shoot up with heroin, and we become addicted to these drugs and all these experiences, and then we'll receive an awakening. So the book says that he broke down so hard that he started eating husk of the swine, which means that he just started doing things, and he realized he was doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. So he had an awareness, a revelation that it was time to change, an awakening. And so this is what is happening to us. And then when we return home, just like when the son, when he returned home, when he returned back to his home, to the place where he started, his father said, bring the fatty calf. Bring out the best meat that we have. Let's celebrate. Bring the ring. Bring out everything to celebrate this oneness that our son has came to the understanding and awareness that we love him and that we want to provide all that he needs. And we have it if we only allow this to happen in our lives and through our lives. We will see miracles. You see, prosperity will come to us after we turn to the Lord. And so Moses, again, he tells the people in Deuteronomy, see, when all these blessings and all these curses that came before you, if you take them to heart, and the Lord, the God, and the circumstances that you found yourself in, you're dispersed among many nations, just doing all frivolous things that we shouldn't do. And when you and your children return to the Lord, your God, and obey him with all your heart and with all your soul, according to everything that Moses is commanding you today, then the Lord your God will restore your fortunes and have compassion on you and gather you again from all the nations where you were scattered. All these places and circumstances we found ourselves that hindered our growth, that didn't allow us to grow, that made us feel bad, that made us think we was less than. Even if you have been banished to the most distant land under the heavens, from there the Lord your God will gather you and bring you back. He will bring you to the land that belonged to your ancestors, and you will take possession of it. He will make you more prosperous and numerous than your ancestors. The Lord your God will circumcise your hearts and the hearts of your descendants, so that you may love him with all your heart and with all your soul and live. The Lord our God will put all these curses on all our enemies who hate and persecute us. Everything that we have transgressed against, they will be removed. You will again obey the Lord and follow all his commandments that I give you today. Then the Lord your God will make you the most prosperous in all the work of your hands and in the fruits of your womb, the young of your livestock and the crops of our land. The land will begin, the Lord, will begin to delight in you and make you prosperous, just as he delighted in our ancestors. If we obey the Lord our God and keep his commandments and decrees that are written in this book of the law and turn from our wicked ways and open up our hearts and our souls, we will be blessed. We will be blessed. You see, Moses was only sharing with what he was hearing from within himself to assist the Israelites to move out, to leave Egypt behind, to accept that they don't need Egypt to build a nation. They can build a nation from within themselves with the power and understanding that is in the mind. And they could secure a place, they could secure a land and begin to build and reckon and change from those transgressions and those hurts from the past. In conclusion, how we see ourselves will determine the miracles that we will produce. We have to walk out of our past hurts, disappointments, and learn. Yes, some of them hurt. Yes, some of them hurt. But it's not until we believe that the power within us is greater will we come out of. You see, the place we pray for God to extract us out of and liberate us from is the course in which we must take. But if we return to the destruction that put us in that position in the first place, then we are running in place. We're being stagnant like a dog chasing his own tail. You see, if we want our miracles, then we have to allow the Spirit to take us home. Let the Spirit do it. Let the Spirit do it. We don't have to do a thing. All we have to do is call on his name. And that don't mean literal. What that means is we have to call on that we believe about the spiritual power that we have within ourselves. And that power will assist us to do it. I leave you with this. May love, peace, commitment, and understanding be our experience now and eternally, and that our recognition blesses us all the day long, and that the power we now realize, we begin to speak it forth into any circumstance and condition that may arise. Because as all science of mind practitioners know, there's a power in the universe and we can use it. And so it is. Peace and blessings, family. I love and appreciate you. Peace.